And welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Gatherings by Just Be Studio. Today is a very personal episode for me. I recently went through my own palm leaf reading, a process of the Nadi Astrology that felt less like a discovery, but more like a cellular remembrance. It is one thing to study your history, it is another to hear a sage for many thousands and thousands of years ago speak directly to your soul's blueprint. And that is the most amazing thing I think I've ever experienced to date. So if you ever wondered what your life path was written down thousands of years ago, joining me today to bridge this is a man whose life is a miracle of survival and destiny, PhD, an entrepreneur, and the founder of the Palm Leaf Institute. Welcome to Dr. Q.
Hello, thank you so much for having me today, Seshni, and welcome and hello to your tribe. Just
Namaste.
be, we've gathered here. We cover two continents on this little Zoom call of ours. Yeah, thank you for your warm welcome. Yes, my name is Dr. Q, and I did found the Indian Palm Leaf Reading Institute. And as a matter of fact, in 2 days, February 16th, it will be our 10th anniversary when I established the Institute in the US. I've been doing this for 12
Wow.
years now. Yeah, it's a long time. I know, it's a long
It is
time.
a long time. It is a long time. Well,
Yeah,
Dr. Q, namaste to you, and thank you so much
thank
for your
you.
time today. It is
Of
such an
course.
honor to meet you. I have been watching your shows with many different podcasters and channels over the last year, and it is amazing to just hear your story and to also have you here as well. So thank you so much for your time.
You're most welcome.
S- So yeah, so I mean, I'm sure to our listeners, some that do know and some that don't know, and you have certainly shared your story, and I'm sure people around the world knows it. But I think for our listeners, very short, very brief, Dr. Q. I mean, if you can share what it was like, and I know you've been, it's 12 years since you started this institution, and I think a lot of people associate, obviously, an Indian palm leaf reading with an Indian person, but looking at you,
Mhm.
clearly it's a non-Indian, and that's what
Yes.
intrigued me the most about your story and how you've got led to this. And obviously it was a soul calling. Clearly it was. So I'm gonna ask you if you can briefly take us through what led you to creating this foundation or this institute that you are soulfully helping the world see something that hasn't been seen before.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been quite a journey, I should say. My biggest cross in life is health. I've been in hospital more than most people. And 13 years ago by now, 13, 14 years ago, I was again very sick and in the ICU. And that is when my best friend, at the time my girlfriend, uh, shared the wisdom of Indian palm readings with me. And when I was shoved into the ICU because of a myocarditis, it's a virus that attacked my heart, very dangerous. I could have died, of course, but I survived. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here today. I thought that this must have to do with karma because I was in hospital many times. Cancer as a teenager, 16 to 19, 6 months as an inpatient. 6 months is a long time. Over this time period of 3 years, from 16 to 19. And I saw people die. I also, my family, my parents survived the revolution in Iran, 1979. You might remember that revolution too, at least the more mature in the audience. I grew up with a golden spoon in my mouth. My dad was very wealthy. Chauffeur, nanny, the whole 9 yards. Overnight, we became paupers because we had to flee the country. That was in 1979. So I know how it feels to be very wealthy, and I know how it is to not be wealthy at all. We're cramped in my grandmother's apartment in Vienna, that is, because my mom's Austrian, my dad's Persian. And and when the reason why I say that, well, I mentioned that we had to flee to Austria. That was the obvious thing, of course, just to leave as soon as we could, and the obvious destination was Vienna. But in 1986, there was the biggest nuclear catastrophe that some of you might have heard of too. That's Chernobyl, which is in today's Ukraine. At that time, it was in the USSR, and the Ukraine again is a troubled country, as we know these days. So Chernobyl burst in April of 86, that is, and the nuclear cloud traveled 2,000 miles and dumped its nuclear waste over Central Europe. And Vienna, Austria is in the heart of Central Europe. And that is ultimately why I got cancer from 88 till 1990, 91. And so I know how it feels to see death knock on heaven's door and not be admitted yet, because they said, no, it's not your time yet. So ever since that time, being 19, because when they released me, I said, God, why me? How come I survive and other people do not? So that's the beginning of my spiritual journey, because I realized at a pretty young age, I should say, that there is way more than meets the eye, way more.
Yeah.
After almost 40 years in trying to pierce that veil, I am not any wiser, I should say. I just know that the rabbit hole is way bigger than that one can ever explore in a human's lifetime. So when I realized that it must have to do with karma in 2013, it must have been, I think, my girlfriend who was visiting me in the ICU said, there is something like Indian palm readings and you can clear your karma. I said, wonderful. If I survive, I'll get it done. Because I've done a lot of things in my lifetime. Group healing sessions, I don't know, shamans in the Amazon, Reiki healing, distant healing, you name it, all of it. I hear about it and I do it because I just want to explore. If nothing else, curiosity, of course. And so I did survive. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here today, too. And I had a reading done, a Nadi reading. And that naturally blew my mind. Otherwise, I would have never started the foundation. And mind you, I never intended to do this. You cannot plan for this either. In a by sentence, the reader told me, oh, you're going to bring this to the West. It went in one ear and out the other because, as you already mentioned, I'm not Indian. I have no connections to India at all, apart from me loving yoga, meditation, spicy Indian food, of course, but outside of that, no connection. So all I did was share my experience with friends and family in the enthusiastic way that I share things when I like something. And they all wanted to get a reading done too. And so I said, let's go to India. And that's when I realized, really, the vast majority of Western people will never go to India. It's a no-go zone for them. For whatever reason, food's too spicy, weather's too hot, whatever the reason might be, long journey times. So we started this 12 years ago already with Skypes. Skype doesn't even exist anymore these days. So because the reader, can we do it remotely? Can it be done over Skype? I said, sure, somehow we can manage. And I said in every single reading in the beginning to just help people understand the Indian English. If you're not used to it, it might be hard to understand the Indian accent English, but also to give people a deeper understanding of what the message actually means. I didn't have a guide in this like you do, someone helping you understand it. I just intuitively understood that it's a guideline. I cannot take it verbatim. It's meant to help me create a better life for myself after the reading. I understood that for whatever reason. And that is what I try to express and explain to whoever got it as a moderator. And that is why we now have a moderator in every call. So a Western person that I train myself, we call them moderators to help the seeker, that will be you who gets a reading, to not only understand the Indian accent, but also to understand the deeper meaning of it. So coming to Indian palm leaf reading, that's a term we created because I realized people had no clue what Nadi Shastra or Nadi readings mean, because that is how Indians call it, Nadi Shastra, Nadi Astrology, Nadi reading. And Nadi has many meanings. Nadi, for example, means leaf. That's the message where the Maharishis wrote on. Nadi also means seeker, hence we refer to everyone who gets a reading as a seeker. Nadi also means pulse, representing life. Depending on in which realm you look at Nadi, it has different meanings. But Nadi also means the exact moment in time when the message is divulged to the seeker, not a day before, not a day later. So when you got your reading, Sheshni, that moment was Nadi. So Nadi reading, Nadi astrology, Nadi Shastra. Shastra is like a treatise, like a guidebook, for example. Reading, because there is a reading involved, in astrology because it is somewhat connected to Vedic astrology too, because the leaf itself makes references to constellations of planets because they have an impact on us. Hence, to make it easier for Western seekers, we called it Indian palm leaf reading, in the hope that people understand it comes from India, that it is a palm leaf and not the palm of your hand, and still we get many messages asking us to read their palm. And I say, my friends, check out what we do first and then get back to us. And reading, there is some sort of a message involved in it. So Indian palm leaf reading, we came up with to help Westerners understand it a little better, what this complex ancient wisdom is all about. So that is how I ended up starting it. I can continue, but you tell me if you have any questions, so I can address
So
them.
I just for the viewers to know what an Indian palm leaf looks like, not the palm like Dr. Q just
Yeah.
mentioned. If you have a look there, that is what the bundle actually looks like, so that you guys have a bit of an understanding and an image to actually relate to what Dr. Q has said.
Mm-hmm.
So I think let's start by telling people about how do these bundles came about? Where do they, originate from? Because I've had mine, so the viewers know I've had mine's recently done, and I've went through Dr. Q's, institute. Beautifully beautiful work that has been done there. Hence why I
Thank
have
you.
Dr. Q on. I'm very honored to meet you. For me, I think people have know about they want to know about the blueprints. They associate words with things, but what truly is a palm leaf? Where does it comes from? How does it describes your life? I think let's start there before we go any further.
Before starting where you said we should start, let's just take a step back to put things
Okay.
into a frame so people have a better understanding of it. It's all connected to Hindu traditions. It's not a
Mhm.
religious act, it's not, but it's connected to Hindu mythology and Hindu traditions. Some of you might have heard of the Vedas, that's the
Mhm.
foundation of Hindu mythology, and some of you hopefully might have heard of the yugas too. Not yoga. Yoga, it's rolling around the floor, as my dad, bless his heart, said to me, because he had no concept of any of this, and he kept saying yoga, and I said, Dad, yoga is something completely different to yoga. He said, okay, and still continued calling it yoga. So yoga are huge time periods, 4 of them, and we can compare them to the seasons. To keep it
Mhm.
simple, we're currently in Kali Yuga, winter. Kali Yuga means the dark times. And
Mhm.
it's important for people to grasp and understand this because in Kali Yuga, where we're now, we're at the tail end of it. We do not know how much longer it continues. There are 2 sets of yugas also, for those of you who are really into this. The big scheme yugas that are tens and hundreds of thousands of years long, each one of them. And we have the Siddhar, the Maharishi yugas that are shorter. So within each yuga, we also have the 4 yugas, the shorter versions of it, present to make it more relatable to human lifetime. Because hundreds
Mhm.
of thousands of years is way too long for us to grasp. So the Maharishis, the Siddhars, came up with shorter versions of it within each yuga period. Either way, we are in Kali Yuga, the short version and the long version of it, where only 25% of souls are on the righteous path, known as Dharma in the Hindu tradition. That means 75% are off course, they're not on the righteous path, which then means that 25% of humans need to carry 75% through Kali Yuga to reach Satya Yuga. Ultimately, that would be the golden times where everyone is on the righteous path. Within the 25% that are already on the righteous path, we of course also have old souls. You can be a young soul and on the righteous path too, of course. Any soul, doesn't matter where you are in your seemingly never ending vicious cycle, if I may be a little tongue in cheek here, called samsara, the cycle of birth and rebirth.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter where you are in this state, in which stage you're in, you can still reach enlightenment. That's not the same as moksha, and moksha would be liberation from samsara. No more coming and going for God knows how many times. There are 7 levels to it, 7 stages.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever gets a reading is automatically in his last life before reaching moksha, or second to last life before reaching moksha, or has already reached moksha and was crazy enough to voluntarily come back. And I say it a bit of a tongue in cheek here, because we have had a few such souls too. They got a reading. They're known as remoksha souls, or time travelers, light workers. And Reverend Bill McDonald, who's become a dear friend of mine that I've just met through this, like I met you here, Seshni.
Yeah.
He's a remoksha soul, and he's a speaker and a big supporter of our cause, and he lives near Sacramento in California. So only these 3 can get a reading, because only for old souls, the Maharishis, Maharishi means great sage, wrote
Mm-hmm.
messages on palm leaves, hence Indian palm leaf reading, to help
Mm-hmm.
them across the finish line, so to speak, and reach moksha. So we established 4 yugas. We're in the dark times known as Kali Yuga. Within Kali Yuga, only 25% are on the righteous path. Within the 25%, those that are old souls, that's a minority
Mm-hmm.
of a minority if we look at humanity at large. The Maharishis, in their great wisdom, wrote messages to help them create a better life trajectory for themselves after the reading, so they
Mm-hmm.
can reach moksha, and as they do so in their human incarnation, help others in turn to make their lives better, and through a trickle effect, help humanity to get through Kali Yuga. So now we established the big picture of it all, and I threw around a lot of terms I know might be confusing. Maharishis, these are 18, the main 18 Maharishis of the southern, we know them as the 18 Tamil Siddhars, because they come from the southernmost state of India known as Tamil Nadu. And Tamil Nadu, within this big country of India, is a country within a country, really. It's different to the rest in many ways. First and foremost, Tamils are not taught Hindi, the common language of India, at all. So when a Tamil goes outside of Tamil Nadu, and to give you an idea, in Tamil Nadu we have about 80, 85 million people. It's a big state. It's twice the size of California. It's elongated. It's on the east coast, and it goes all the way down to the tip of India. So it's tropical, subtropical, really. And so they are foreigners. If an Indian comes to Tamil Nadu, they're also foreigners because they cannot communicate in Hindi with them either. So they have to revert back to English, or Hinglish, as we know, Indian English. So it's a little different to the rest of India. And also, the vast majority of Tamils are vegetarians. Now, in that state, which of course at the time it didn't exist the way we know it today, thousands of years ago, Maharishi sat in meditation and tapped into the Akashic records through the help of Shiva, his wife Parvati, their son Ganesha, Vishnu, you name it, to tap into the Akashic records, download the message for these old souls to then be preserved somewhere. Again, you got to put your historical glasses on. The oldest Tamil Siddhar is the guy in the middle. His name is Agastya, Maharishi Agastya. 18 in total. There were actually hundreds of Maharishis who wrote leaves, but these 18 we consider the main 18 siddhars of the main 18 Tamil siddhars, I should say, because there are also siddhars in the northern parts of India, the Brigu section of it, and they wrote their leaves in Sanskrit. But the Tamil siddhars wrote their leaves in ancient Tamil, known as Grantha. So they sat in meditation, tapped into the Akashic records, downloaded the message, and then had to preserve them somewhere. In the old days, the oldest Maharishi lived 5,000 to 7,000 years ago, a long time ago, Agastya. There was no paper. So in their wisdom, they said, let's use what we have in abundance, and that is big palm tree leaves. So they cut them into about 10 inches, let's say 20 centimeters, 20 to 25. They're not standardized, about an inch or two wide. That will be 3-4 centimeters or so. They etched the information onto the leaves, and then it
Mm-hmm.
dried up, and the message came through. So now you know why they used palm leaves, not just for these predictions, but for anything really. Legal textbooks, Ayurvedic principles, all of that. And many of them are now in state and federal archives and libraries. Also, some of these prediction bundles, but the vast majority of them are stored in with individuals and their families. Even though we don't have the caste system in India anymore, that was abolished about 20 years ago or so, an Indian knows within a split second which caste the other Indian comes from. So in the old days, we had folks that were born into Nadi reading caste. So it was the information or the wisdom was passed on from father, son, grandson,
Mm-hmm.
great grandson, and so forth. Nowadays, of course, even an outsider can become a reader. All they need to do is they need to find a guru to teach him, and that takes a while. Speaking of the readers, I know that some people, because we get messages all the time, oh, it's so much more authentic to get it done in India. I don't want to do it over Zoom. I was like, yeah, sure. Good luck. Go. I'm not stopping you from doing so, but you need to be aware that 80% really, which is sad, but it's also the harsh reality, is fake. They're either just semi-knowledgeable readers, or they don't know anything at all, just for a quick buck. It's not so easy nowadays to find a real, ethical, authentic reader. And to become a real good reader takes years, not just a week or two. You can get training in just a couple of weeks, and then you know the
Mm-hmm.
basics, but that's not what you really need. It's quite complex to become a reader too. They need to know Ayurvedic principles, because some of you might get health recommendations, what to eat, not to eat, and stuff. They're all based on Ayurvedic principles. Ayurveda is also an Indian tradition,
Mm-hmm.
and they use Ayurveda to connect it to the Vedas. And that's the reason why Vedic astrology, because it plays a role in Nadi readings too. And sometimes professional or hobby Vedic astrologists get confused with what Nadi reading is all about, because they think it's the same, but it's not. For Vedic astrology, you need somebody's birth time, date, and location. For a Nadi reading, all you need is your thumbprint, and I'll get to that as we go through this interview today. So a reader really needs to know gemology, Vedic astrology, because there are symbols on your leaf that reflect the constellations of planets at the time of your reading. So it's important for him to understand the system. Hence, a reader is also a fully fledged Vedic astrologist. He has to be. He needs to know gems, because you are being told about your lucky gems in your reading, numerology. So a lot of things he has to learn throughout the years to become a fully fledged good reader. And all of this happened in a town called Vaitishvaran Koil. So in case you traveled, you told me you're going to go to southern India
Yeah.
in a year. Vaitishvaran Koil is about 5 hours south of the capital city. Today is known as Chennai, in the old days Madras. So if you travel
Mm-hmm.
5 hours south, that's where the town or village of Vaitishvaran Koil is. About 50,000 people live there. And legend has it that it all started there. And the area around it is the hub for the Tamil siddhas, Chidambaram, for example, Trichy, you name it. So there's a big area where it all happened. And I hope I answered a little bit the history, so you know where things come,
Mm-hmm.
where they're based at, and the Tamil siddhas, Maharishis that wrote them. So today the system works exactly the same way as it worked thousands of years ago, because also when you put your historical glasses on, people in the old days couldn't read or write. They couldn't. So the siddhas, the Maharishis, had to figure out a way to connect the leaf to a person who cannot read or write, because reading and writing was something reserved to the elite, rulers, priests. They could read and write. So they said, let's connect a leaf with your thumbprint. That's something everyone can produce. You don't need to be able to read or write. And we do the same thing today too. And that brings me to the stages of how things are done. The secret in all of this lies in your thumbprint category type. You submitted one too,
I
session
did.
a year ago. And the reason for that is the reader looks at your thumb impression through a magnifying glass, literally speaking, identifying all the twists and curls and stuff in it, to then figure out your thumb impression category type, which is paramount, very important to all of this.
Mm-hmm.
There are about 2,000 different thumbprint category types, but only 108 carry a leaf. So if you fall within the 108, then he can go on a physical search. So ladies would submit their left thumbprint, gents their right, and it is gender at birth, because by now we already had several transgendered seekers, and it's always gender at birth that counts. And it has to do with Hindu traditions too, because the right side represents the male energies, left side the female energies. So the reader really only knows that you're male or female and your thumbprint category type. And with that, the first of the 3 stages starts, and that's search for your bundle. Bundle, to explain that too, again, think back thousands of years ago, how to preserve these brittle leaves. Because, you crack them.
Mm-hmm.
So what the Maharishis decided is they would store similar souls that have the same thumbprint category type in a book or bundle. And you already showed the picture, but I have one here too. So this is a book or bundle where leaves that have the same thumbprint category type travel together. And there are thousands of these representing one thumbprint category type, and there are 108 of them. Some of them are more common, some of them are rare. So rare, as a matter of fact, that none of us has ever come across it, but we know they exist. So out of the 108, let's say 50 we've covered maybe by now 50 different types, but there's still ways more to go because they're pretty rare to come across. So, and these bundles are stored in, as mentioned before, archives in libraries. And unlike what you might think an archive or library should be, like water dispenser, air conditioning, security guards, it's a little room in somebody's home, really, maybe all dusty, which is the treasure of a reading dynasty family. And these bundles have traveled time in the hands of this Nadi reading family for generations, a long, long time. Some of them ended up in museums too and archives that are either run by the municipality, by the state of Tamil Nadu, or by federal government. And I think by now I've covered all of them. But the real treasure ones, the ones that we want, are in private individual hands. And a private individual maybe has 2, 3, 4, 500 bundles. That's the average, not more. And there are hundreds of little archives, maybe thousands actually, of archives and libraries all over Tamil Nadu, but not only Tamil Nadu, but also outside of Tamil Nadu, because over the centuries people travel and take the bundles with them. So you can get an authentic reading nowadays too in Delhi if you want to. If you find a real one, you can. You can get an authentic reading in Sri Lanka too, or in Bali. We're talking thousands of years and people traveled. So what a reader would do after identifying your thumbprint category type, he would go on a physical search. That means he would first go into his own little archive, check him out and see if it matches your thumbprint category type. Then he would go to his neighbors and friends, and then the one further down the road, and then he would hop on his bicycle and go to the other end of the village. Or if he cannot find any in his town, he would then hop on a moped, literally speaking, and go to next town. And if it's too far away, he would use a public bus. So it's a physical act. Well, nowadays we use a cell phone and agents who will call somebody 5 hours. So modern technology has, of course, entered the scene too, but not so much, as a matter of fact. So it's a physical thing. It can be just one day, it could be 2 hours if you're super lucky, but I don't want to promise you that. If you get your reading done through our institute, then the average search time is 2 to 5 months, 3 to 6 months, something like that. It can happen that after a week we'll send you a message. Absolutely, that's true, but it could also take a little longer than that. It's simply because of the sheer number of reading requests that we get. And as quality and being ethical is to us number one, we can only expand our service step by step because it takes time to train new staff, find an authentic and ethical reader, synchronize the way we do things with the way he does things. So it just takes time. So this search takes a while. And when they find a bundle, usually 2 or 3, He will bring them back to the office, and if you were in India, we'll call you and say, "Come to my office. I found your bundle." In our case, we would send you an email saying, "Congratulations, we found a bundle for you." And in the vast majority of cases, and that is a truly divine act, I should say, because out of the thousands of bundles that carry your thumbprint category type, he doesn't pick the very first one. He picks one that he thinks, and God knows how they do it, that might carry your individual leaf in it. As you can see, there are many leaves in one book or bundle. The maximum number is 108 in one book. But today, I would say the average is 40 to 60, because over time they disintegrate, they crack, they get lost, or they've reached the end of their lifespan and they're taken out and given back to the universe in a water ceremony. So searches come to an end, and then matching and reading happens in one session. If you're in India, you will go to the office and do it there. In our case, we would do it over Zoom. So matching is step 2. That would mean matching your actual leaf in the bundle, and reading means once matching has been successful, reading the message to you. So how does matching work? And that is the wow part, because that's the thing that most people are like, "Geez, Lois, how could you find mine?" Mind you, the reader knows nothing about you, nothing. He knows your thumbprint category type and your gender, and that's it. So it would open up the bundle, look at the first leaf, and then read out a statement to you. Not a question, a statement. To explain how complex this whole thing is, allow me to explain how these leaves are written. They're written in a dead language, which doesn't exist anymore, known as Granta or ancient Tamil. Tamils and the rest of India are fighting, quote unquote, over which is the oldest written language. Is it Granta or is it Sanskrit? And then, me being Persian, I step in and say, well, Persian is also pretty old. So at any rate, we're talking a written language that is thousands of years old, and it's not used anymore, just like Sanskrit. They speak modern Tamil today. So a reader needs to learn and understand ancient Tamil. That's number 1. Number 2, both ancient Tamil and modern Tamil are syllabic languages, sound-based, no alphabet. If we had to convert Tamil to modern, let's say English, it would have 247 letters, 247, because we're talking about sounds, not letters. So t, ha, ch, these sounds, and they need to be somewhat converted into a letter-based language. And all Western languages are letter-based, A, B, C, D, which Tamil is not. 3, it's written as a poem, primarily a conversation in a poetic form between Shiva and his wife Parvati. And last but not least, and the icing on the cake, it's written in code. So it takes a real good reader to decode it for us. And the matching, we need to help the reader to decode it in the right direction. He looks at the leaf and reads out a statement to you. For example, you are married, because the soul whose leaf this is a married soul today. Matching reflects a seeker's current reality. So if you're married at the time of your matching, you say yes. If you're not, you say no. So the only answers to a statement you ever need to give is yes, no, right, wrong, correct, or incorrect. No need to give any more information than that. Let's say you're going through divorce. As he says, you are married. You still need to say, yes, I'm married. No need to say I'm married, but I'm going through divorce. That's irrelevant. So for as long as you say yes to a statement, he stays on the leaf. You have 2 children, you've married twice, whatever it might be. And he stays on it and goes deeper and deeper and deeper. If you say no to a statement, then it's not your leaf, and he flips over to a new leaf and starts from scratch. You notice that the reader never takes any notes. He goes into it, and it's a big practice for a reader too, because before a reading starts, all the readers do a puja, to cleanse themselves and to put themselves in the right energetic field to be able to give it to you. Because the whole experience, matching and reading, is meant as a healing procedure for the seeker. Hence, it is divulged in a sing-song way. Dum ba dum ba dum ba dum ba dum. The readers have to learn that through the vibrations, subconsciously, you're being given healing energies. You say yes, 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 and ultimately you will say yes to all the statements, and all of a sudden, bam, he will say your name is Seshni, your mother's name is, your father's name is, you have two children, you're born uh, on this date, you have a partner, and that is the wow effect for everyone because they're like, oh my God, how can you know this? It's on the leaf. We just need to help the reader decode it in the right direction. He might, for example, in your reading, in your matching, say the second letter of your name has an A, E, I, O, or U, because the symbol for all these five is the same. So if that's the case, you will say yes, and then he will say which one is it, because he needs to know how to read the code, right? So there is no guesswork, there is none of that, and no hacking into your social security system either. Because sometimes people say, I cannot believe this. You hacked into my whatever online, into my social media, folks. Whoever thinks that, then don't get a reading. Trust me, there is not enough money or time involved to do any of that. We just don't have the time. And if you know India just a little bit, it's a poor country. And sometimes readers have an outhouse because there is no toilet there. If you have this in mind, then hopefully you understand that the reader, who might not even have internet where he lives, they all travel to the office to have good internet access to be able to do this over Zoom. So if you're doubtful, then just don't do it. I'm not here to convince you otherwise. But those of you who believe, then this might be a magical moment for you. So, bam, they tell you all these things that you say yes to. And that was done in an ingenious way by the Maharishis because they knew they had to somehow overcome a doubtful ego by giving you details that the reader cannot possibly know and only you know. The Maharishis thought you should be able to embrace the fact that this is your leaf, and that's why matching is done. Now that we've done a successful matching, we can do the reading. A reading, first and foremost, is a guideline, folks. Guideline. It's a blueprint for you, it's a compass for your life. No one's life is set in stone, let alone written on a leaf. Is not. If it were, then you and I were just mere puppets. But we
Mhm.
have free will and choice. We do. How much? That's maybe for another podcast, but we do have free will and choice. Do I drink coffee or tea, turn left, turn right? How do I react and respond to a certain action toward me? Free will and choice every single minute of our lives. So it's a guideline. Take it as that, and then it's a winner. The reading is based on three aspects. It's very important to understand that too. Three
Mhm.
aspects. First of all, on your thumbprint category type. The thumbprint category type is the only part of your reading that you cannot change. It's you. It represents you. It's kind of like your baseline.
DNA.
It's
Yeah.
a red thread. It's neither good nor bad. Some thumping category types are easier. Some are a little more challenging. But either way, there is no good, no bad. It just is. And we explain your thumping category type in detail in your reading, of course. And the more mature audience, when you look back, you then hopefully can understand why certain things have been the way they were based on your thumping category type. So based on that, and then two, based on your energies, not your mood, whether you had your morning coffee or not, that will be your mood. Your energies, which
Yep.
according to our system changes every 6 months. And last
Mhm.
but on the stars and planets because they have an impact on us. And that is where Vedic astrology kicks in because there are references on your leaf when it comes to stars and planets, and the reader needs to be able to decode that and give you some assistance. So when I had my reading, I took my reader as my wingman, basically. You can do that too. I'm a very practical human being. He was like, Dr. Q, let's decipher your code, your leaf from today's point of view, whenever you get your reading, Nadi. From that moment, he will decode the leaf until there is no more writing on the leaf, which does not mean the end of your life. Because quite a few said, oh my God, I don't want to know when it's the end of my life. It's not the end of your life, it's the end of the message in this particular time that you receive it. Because you can have several readings in your lifetime. And if you're crazy enough, and I say this again tongue in cheek, wanting to live a longer life, then the reading will help you. change your routines and maybe your diet to be able to live longer if that's what you want. I don't. I've been in hospital too long. I'm happy to go whenever my time is ready and never come back. And that's one of the reasons why, or maybe the main reason why I started this institute, to do good karma work and be done with it, because I don't want to screw it up. I want to reach moksha and be done. And if indeed you and I sessionally meet up there, and with the toes stuck in the sandy beach and sipping
Uh-huh.
colada, and I'm like, you know what? It's boring up here. Let's go back and help these poor souls out there. Just you may take a big sledgehammer and whack me with it, because I do not want to come back. That's it, done. And
Same
anyway,
here.
so same here, yeah. Then
Same
so we
here.
can
Don't want to come back.
so we can sip pina coladas for the rest of eternity together at a sandy beach. That's moksha, by the way. So. Based on the stars and planets, he then decodes it, and he will say, look, this is what a possible life trajectory might look like from today's point of view. Possible, because everything's up in the air, as we already know through quantum physics. And every moment we then create the reality. The only person who can create the reality that you're experiencing is you, no one else, because no one is there with a gun against your forehead say, you do this. Or you react to this in this particular way. It's up to you. You know, got free will. But if you look from today's point of view into the future, do you like it or not? If you like it, wonderful. Make it a reality for you so that you can reach moksha. You don't like it, that means you're off course. Let's do something to bring the ship on course so you can reach calmer waters and ultimately moksha. So the reading is not meant to make you feel special or chosen or VIP, because sometimes we get a message saying, oh, he never said that I'm special or chosen, because we're all chosen. We're all special. Just to be in this human form makes us all equal, really. But what makes us special is how we act and react and how we create the reality for ourselves and everyone else that is impacted by us. That is what makes us special, indeed. So the reading is a raw reading. It's not sugar-coated. It gives you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And it comes in increments of years, 2-3 year increments, until there is no more writing on the leaf. So if it's good, that means there is a time period for you to do something, X, write a book, move, find a partner, expand the business, change jobs, whatever. You still need to do something to make that a reality. Just because it's a good time period to publish a book, you still have to write it and put your sweat and tears behind it to make it a reality. Just because it's a good time period for a book to be published, it won't be written by itself. You know what I mean? So it's a guideline for you to create a better life trajectory for yourself and to maximize, your soul's potential on this planet. We can only show you the water. You got to drink yourself. If it's bad or ugly, that's where the juicy part starts. I always say, embrace it with all your heart as a blessing in disguise. Because if it's bad or ugly, that means a block is identified in your reading. The block was here before your reading already. You might have not been aware of it. You might only have seen the effects of it by hitting the wall over and over again in the same area. Bad relationship, not enough money, I don't know, bad health, whatever the issue might be. Good news is that each block that's identified is a first step into overcoming it. Because for each block identified, the Maharishis in their great wisdom wrote on the leaf remedies known as puja. And the puja is the only part of your reading that must be taken verbatim. It must, because that's your way of showing the universe that you're serious about overcoming the block. Allow me to explain the pujas a little bit. Pujas, literally translated, mean prayer ceremony or ceremonial act. So if it's a prayer ceremony, it really means a mantra dedicated to a certain god or goddess, because Hinduism, unlike other religions, doesn't have a guidebook, if I may use this term loosely. There is no Bible or Quran in Hinduism.
Correct.
It's all word of mouth. So in Hinduism, and again, I'm a Western guy, a very simple Western guy who was not raised with Hindu traditions at all. But of course, by now I know a lot about it. is a very literal culture. Is way more than religion. It's a mindset. So very literal meaning that there is a god or goddess that represents a certain trait that helps you overcome a block or achieve something. It helps you focus your mind. It's that simple, really. So it's a mantra dedicated to God or goddess. You do not need to believe in Hindu traditions. You can still be a Catholic or whatever religion you have. It's just a symbol to help you focus your energies on overcoming the block. If it's a physical act, then it means donate something, give food to the poor, give writing material to children. It's something that you need to do. And that's also energy. You do it on the day prescribed to show the universe that you're serious about it. So in Western terminology, puja is nothing more, nothing less than an energy shifting exercise. That's what it is. If we can establish that everything in life, really everything, and I'm a true believer in it, is just energy. Everything.
It is.
Be it my cell phone here, our talk here, the computer we use, money, health, love, the planets, all of it. Time travel is just energy, just manifested in different shapes and forms. So if it's energy, and if it's pure energy, then the ultimate curve would be the sine curve. That is the most perfect curve in the universe. And if you're in that curve, then you'll be an angel with wings and not in human form. So the ultimate goal is to reach that. But in human form, we can only get as close as we possibly can to the sine curve. And the closer we are to it, the more beautiful our journey seems to be. We have a love life, we'll find a partner, maybe children if that's what you want. Sufficient money in our pockets, good friends, you lead a life that you can enjoy. But the further away you're from the sine curve, the more screwed up the lines are, the bigger the issues are. Big health issues, like in my case, not enough money in your pocket, bad relationships, you name it, all of that. So it's either a section of your life or the entire life if it's off course. So it's energy, really. And a puja is an energy shifting exercise. It helps you streamline it back again. And if you do it with all your heart, really, that's the most important part. That is the juiciest part of your reading are the pujas. And when you do them, you need to do them with all your heart and with the intention to overcome the block they were prescribed for. If you do it as a chore or because you watch this interview and Dr. Q says do it, then don't do them at all because it's a waste of energy. If you do them with the right mindset because they don't take long. They're simple. They're easy. Anyone can do it. We send you the pictures of the gods and goddesses. We send you the mantra. Whether you understand the mantra or not makes no difference. Whether you pronounce the mantra correctly or incorrectly makes no difference, man. I'm a very practical human being. I did not understand anything when I had my reading done. I had no one telling me what this is all about. I just did it exactly as prescribed, on the day prescribed, because I knew intuitively, really, that's something to do with shifting energies and overcoming blocks. And I travel a lot, like 250 days a year. And I did every single puja in a different hotel room in a different city. And I traveled with the picture and I lit a little, tea light in my hotel room. I sometimes bought flowers. So I did it with all my heart because I did not want to be in hospital anymore, period. So if I can do it, anyone can do it, really. And over time, as you do them, you should be able to realize a certain shift in your life. And by shifting these energies, you will start attracting different energies into your life. You're getting rid of the old ones, and then hopefully they help you to steer your ship in a direction to help you reach moksha. That is the aim of the game. So while the reading itself is just a guideline, do not take it verbatim. Do not. It's a big mistake. As a guideline, the pujas must be taken verbatim. They're the most important part of your reading, really, to help you streamline your energies and so that you ultimately can create a better life trajectory for yourself. Whatever better means to you. To me, it means health. To some people, it means money, finding a partner, finding a good job. Better life trajectory after your reading. And then you, because you're better, help others.
Yes.
Better life for themselves. Like you do, especially in this interview. You're helping others, directly or indirectly.
So, Dr. Q, thank you so much for that explanation and that detailed understanding, about what palm leaves or Nadi astrology is as well to help people get a better understanding. So,
Sure.
I'm sure people are probably wondering, I'm not, like you said, you're not Indian. I'm a Westerner coming from another culture, another
Yes.
race, from another part of the world.
Yes.
And are we saying that my thumbprint is now going to be in a part of India or part of another country, and there's a leaf that actually has my thumbprint?
Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
It is as simple as that. It's
It's
yes.
as simple as that.
And
Yes.
yes. Um, I want to go back to the bundles. So you mentioned how long since you've had your bundle read for you?
Uh, 12 years ago, I think.
12 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there more than one bundles for a person?
Oh, you can have many readings in a lifetime, of course. You can. Each
Okay.
leaf, each reading is meant to help you create an even better life trajectory. There is never an end to the ceiling, because there is no ceiling. You can go make it better and better and better. Of course, you can. If you have a
Okay.
calling for another reading, you can do so, and you can rest
Okay.
assured it builds on the first. It reflects the new reality that you're in.
So let me ask you, have you had another reading since your first one, or did you just
Yeah,
have the one
I
reading?
had, I had two.
You
The
had
one
two.
that initiated it all, and then 3 years
Uh-huh.
later, I think, so that must be around 10 years ish by now, 9 years, 8 years. I really don't remember, but it was a few years later. In my first reading, the reader, for example, when he pronounced the name of my father, Dambaram Baram Siyavash, I was like, my God, he's guaranteed never heard the name before. It's a Persian name, it's an old school name. My mother's name, Gisela Dambaram Baram Gisela. I was like, my God, it blew my mind. Absolutely, otherwise I wouldn't be here today. But the first one said you have parents from different countries, different cultures. You had a big health issue as a teenager, yes, of course, and that I have heart issues, yes, because I just came out of the hospital before I had my reading, and then, so the reading said you will. The reading stopped at 77 to 79. He said this is likely for you to get a heart attack and die, and I knew it. I was like, yeah, makes sense to me because my heart has been impacted through the chemotherapy, radiation therapy that I got, then the heart virus that caused my myocarditis. So I got to be careful. I know that. But I wasn't shocked or so. I embraced it. The guy does
Hmm.
not know me from boo, and still he said, you have heart issues and 77, 79, you might die of a heart attack, which I said, yeah, I understand and I take it. And then I had a second reading like 3 years later, something like that. And different reader, different Maharishi, they're not connected at all. And I remember in the second reading, matching actually, the reader looked at the leaf. I was sitting across from the table from him, looks at the leaf, looks at me, and he wasn't quite sure what to say. In the matching, he says, "You are doing this, like you are doing Nadi readings." And because I'm a Western guy, I'm a white guy, which is unheard of. And I said, "Well, I cannot read the leaves, but I started a institute and foundation by now to offer this." And so it already reflected my new reality. In the first one, the guy, in a by sentence, it was not the main message. It
Hmm.
really wasn't. You're going to bring this to the West, which I dismissed right away because I have nothing to do with India. And yet here I'm 12 years later talking to you. In the second reading, he already knew, the leaf knew that I am involved in this. So that's new. And then in my first reading, 77, 79, I get a heart attack based on karma. So I knew I must have karmic debt and issues. And that's why I had my first reading. And the reader identified karmic issues, strong negative karma. And good news is that the block identified, again, the block always goes back to some cause. It could be a generational block, a family block, a planetary block, a karmic block,
Past
you name it.
life. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a karmic block. And if you have a karmic block, strong negative karma, allow me to explain karma too, because most people think karma is negative. It's not true. Karma can be very good too. You just don't embrace it or see it. If you drive your Porsche on a German highway, like, oh my God, you can afford doing so. That means you have a car and you do. That's good karma. If you have
Yeah.
the money, if you have the health, you brought into this lifetime good energies. Enjoy them every day, and be conscious of it and say thank you. Gratitude, by the way, is another big energy shifter too. Um, and So people focus on the negative karma. Negative can be, small negative or very strong one. Small ones, by the way, if you do in your lifetime as a human being now something good, by default, being a nurse, a physician, a police officer, a teacher, a firefighter, as long as you do it ethically, so you're not a corrupt cop or you don't overprescribe your patients or something, if you do it ethically, by default, you are shedding negative karma in the profession that you're in. You don't even have to do it consciously, because teaching in itself is a karma cleaner. Firefighting, nursing, all of those things are good things. Lawyer, if you do it ethically, you help another person too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can be a lawyer
Mhm.
and very ethical, and you can shed karma. But strong negative karma, you need to be aware of. So if you carry strong negative karma, in your leaf, there will be a section dedicated to that. So you will get a karmic reading, who you were, when you lived, where you lived, which social status you had, and what you did to then be stuck with karma this lifetime. The good news is every block has a remedy on the leaf, a puja. And then most of the pujas are home based, even though we call them temple pujas, they're home based, so anyone can do it from the comfort of their home. And it's included in the price of your reading too. But many also are prescribed a puja that can only be done by priest in a temple. If you know a priest, then of course you can have it organized yourself, because we use the old original Vedic terms for it. But if you don't, our institute works with beautiful souls, all Brahmanic priests, and we get it done for you. It could be a fire ceremony, which is a one-time event. It could be 144 or 108-day long mantra puja, where the priest goes to a temple on your behalf and does the energy shifting exercise for you. So puja, very, very, very important. So I did all the pujas in my first reading, and the second reading, it went to 85. I was like, oh no, now I have to live till 85. But it's but so I knew that the pujas I did, helped me put me on a
Right.
different trajectory altogether. And if I did another reading, and I've had the calling for it too, but man, I'm so busy these days. I need time for myself a little bit to be able to do that. But yeah, if the opportunity arises, I'll have a third reading. I know many people had 6, 7 readings. In our institute, we had people 3, 4 readings already in the time span of 10 years that we've been doing it. Actually, we've been doing it for 12 years, but the first 2 years I just did it as, without any legal setup, just helping others. And then just complete strangers came to me. I said, man, this is now crazy. And that's when I realized, oh, this guy said I'm going to bring it to the West. And that's when we put it into a legal framework and established the institute. And now for a few years, we also have a foundation. So the whole purpose of this is to help others. I don't make any money with it still today. After 10 years, I still have a daytime job. And I'm here to help people to get an authentic reading in an ethical way from the comfort of their home, if you choose to do it through our institute.
Yeah. So let me just tell our listeners quickly. I've had my reading done, I think it's about a week ago. So
A week
a
ago.
week,
Oh my God, that's
yeah,
super
it was just
recent.
recently. That is
Yeah,
why,
yeah.
just a week
Yes,
ago, right?
mm-hmm.
And I submitted that, I think, a year ago. It took a year.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I just want to share this with our listeners so that they can hear it from, someone that's just had a reading, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be great for them. So I submitted it last year in 2024 in February. I did get an email at the end of last year, which was in December, saying that they have found my bundle. I've had the first bundle that got picked for me for my thumbprint in January. I had that reading. Unfortunately, it was a miss. It didn't match. The bundle did not match, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they got fairly accurate information, and I would say maybe like 50% or 60% of it, but it wasn't 100% match.
Mm-hmm.
So the reader went back, and then after 2 weeks later, literally 2 weeks later, I had the reading to a year of me submitting my thumbprint.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. Now, I can truly tell you that sending my thumbprint in and having my reading, it has been a very, very informative and has validated a lot of things for me. Now, Dr. Q, you may not know this about me, but I am a meditation teacher,
Oh, beautiful. That's another way of
right?
reaching moksha. Yes, of course.
Yes, I am a meditation. So I have been doing it for many, many years, probably about 10 years now. But I've only recently been teaching, and I've been teaching for the past probably 3, 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And my meditation practice has gotten deeper because I also travel, but I travel to sacred sites.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the reason why I wanted the reading, is because as I was going through my own journey, through my own way of my spiritual path, I've mentioned this to you before, my family is Tamil. My
Mm-hmm.
grand comes from Tamil. One of my grands comes from Tamil Nadu and the south of India as well. So I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to know, what was that lineage coming from, being from south of India, obviously being in that type of energies, and obviously coming to South Africa, being the second generation of my grand. So it was very interesting, and everything that they've said validated not just the things that I am going through, but also the things that I have been through as well. My mom's name, Dr. Q, is Tamil, right?
Oh,
If any listener wants to know how difficult my mom's name is, it's Kankaveli Naidu.
Kankaveli. Oh my God. Okay.
Yes. Now, the chances of, and they didn't know, the seekers didn't know anything. Obviously, the readers, the moderators that was there, the Swamiji that was there, he didn't know anything, right? So that name, even my dad's name is also, it's Moonsami. So they have very traditional names coming
Yeah, very
from
old school.
very old school.
Yes.
My parents still speak Tamil, Dr. Q, right? They speak
Wow.
Tamil. Yeah, they do. So when the Swamiji was doing the reading for me, he knew I could understand him a little
Yeah,
bit.
perfect.
He says to me, you even look as if you're from South India. I said, I get that quite a lot as well. So
Yes. Mm-hmm.
anyway, it was a very beautiful reading, very accurate in a lot of sense in terms of how they've not just predicted, but what was on the leaf itself. I think,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Q, I had mine up until the age of 85 as well.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, up to the age of 85. So, uh,
Congratulations.
and again, I don't want to come back. We need to have those pina coladas up there. We're not
Yes.
coming back. I need to
Yes.
have my moksha, my moksha as well.
In
Definitely.
South
But
Africa, the kalua, that's
yeah,
uh,
the kulua.
the kalua. Love it. Yes. Great drink too. My mom loves it too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think many people is probably thinking, and you always get skepticism people out there, people that don't believe these things, and that's okay. I
That's okay.
also
Yeah.
think if you're a seeker wanting to know, I think a lot of Westerners are familiar with the work, the Akashi records. This
Mm-hmm.
is much more than the Akashi records. It's so much more deeper. It gives you so much more depth in terms of not just yourself, but I say, we gave our blueprint. I think it's our own blueprint that has been shared with us. And I think that if people are ready to know what that means or want to understand, have some understanding and the karma that you've came with into this lifetime, I think definitely a palm read reading definitely gives you that view for sure.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So
Yes.
out of all the thousands of readings that you've had, and I'm sure that you have heard, you have seen so much that has happened over the years. What is the most impossible shift you have seen in someone's life after performing this Nadi astrology? Maybe heard it? Is there anything that really stood out that made it like, oh wow, I mean, besides yourself, obviously.
Oh, for many, 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 many people, it's a shifter. I can share my friend Gigi's reading because she's also on our YouTube channel. Because his privacy is very important. So nothing
Yes.
that is revealed in a reading goes out. By the way, we delete everything. from our system
Yes.
automatically. So they give a better idea. We do it over Zoom. There is a reader,
Hmm.
the interpreter, both in India, and the moderator
Hmm.
in the meeting. So there's three people that support you. Uh, the whole thing is recorded and beautifully edited. You haven't received it yet, I think, but
No.
beautifully edited. So I engage a professional editor for each and every reading, and we get thousands every year. So to get the very professional, beautifully put together recording of your matching and your reading, you get that about 10 days or so after your reading is completed, because it takes time to do it all. Then two, you get the whole chat history. We use chat a lot to explain things, as you might remember
Yes.
in your own
Yes.
reading. So you get the whole history, chat history as well, and you get your pujas in a PDF format, including all the pictures of all the gods and goddesses. So you just need to follow directions when it comes to the performing your own pujas. And then you got 30 days. We send an email, downloadable link, and then you suck it onto your computer. And our system knows that, because it's set that way. Once it's downloaded and done, it starts deleting everything from the system. So the onus is on you, my dears out there. Download it and safeguard it. Make a copy of it, because quite once in a while we get emails saying, "Oh, I had the reading 2 years ago. I lost it. My computer crashed. Whatever." We cannot give you a copy of it because we don't have it, right? So it's on you. It's very important to safeguard it. So privacy is very important to us. But, excuse me, I need to cough a little bit here. The by now maybe 12 or 15 seekers have allowed us to, excuse me,
No, good.
to put their reading online on our YouTube channel. So you can go to our YouTube channel.
Sorry, guys.
Apologies, just went down the wrong tube and it didn't clear before. I hope now it does. So about 12, 15 seekers over the years have allowed us to put their entire matching and reading on our YouTube channel. So you can go to our YouTube channel, Indian Palm Reading Institute, and just watch how it pans out. And of course, we got testimonials on it too. Or in social media, Facebook, Indian Palm Reading, Instagram, Indian Palm Reading, even LinkedIn. So we're everywhere. Indian Palm Reading. The Institute, YouTube is just Indian Palm Reading Institute. So Gigi Williams had a reading with us maybe 5-6 years ago. And she's very open about it. So she comes to expos that I go to sometimes, talks about it, and left a testimonial. In her own reading, she was at the time 75, 74. The reader said, "Your energies are off. You need to go to the physician. You need to get a health checkup. It's important." So when the reading stopped, we always stay online with the seeker afterwards. I said, "Gigi," the reader said, "You need to go and get your health checked out." They don't say that lightly. So you need to go. I said, "Oh, I'm afraid. I don't want to do it. I'm scared what the physician might tell me." I said, "Gigi, you got 3 days." I gave her 3 days. "You go. In 3 days, I'm going to call you to see if you made an appointment." And she did. And ultimately, she was diagnosed with breast cancer, which saved her life. Because had she not gone, 6 months later, she will be dead. And so she's become, because of that, a dear friend of mine. We're very close, and also a big supporter of our institute, because she says, "Without a reading, I would be dead now." Of course, she had to go through, surgery, chemotherapy, radiation, the whole 9 yards, but it was caught in time to save her life, and she's very grateful for it, to be able to continue enjoying her life. That's one. Another guy, I remember, because people think they're special, right? We're all special. It's what we make in our lives that makes us truly special as we help others, and that's the ultimate goal, really. At least in my life, I want to help others. The guy told the reader told this young kid, it was maybe 28, 30, that he's late for everything. He's like, "You haven't finished your school yet. You are not. You haven't found a partner yet. You're so late." It was a kick in his butt, the reading, and I was the moderator in it. And he said, "Man," he said, "thank you so much. That's exactly what I needed." Because the reader, who does not know me from Boo, told me all these things, that I've been thinking about. That yes, I'm late. I haven't finished my college degree yet. I haven't done this yet, and so forth. So next thing you know, he started to shift his life altogether. He's a friend in Hungary. I live in Budapest sometimes. I have an apartment there. He moved to Austria, re subscribed, re-entered university in Austria, finished his degree, is now manager with a company. So in the past 2 3 years, he shifted his entire life completely, and now he's on track. And he keeps sending me messages. Still, we've become friends too. He says, "Dr. Q, without the reading, I would be stuck and I would not know what to do." And it's helped my life tremendously. Thank you. So he's a big supporter as well. Now, there are many stories. They don't have to be grandiose. Even like sure in your case, maybe you were confirmed that you are on the right path. That in itself means a lot. You know, if you
It does.
know what I've been doing is good, I'm on the righteous path, I want to reach moksha, beautiful. That in itself validates what you've been doing and hopefully encourages you and motivates you to continue doing what you've been doing. So there are many, many, many stories. Just to go online
Yeah.
and see our YouTube videos for it.
So, Dr. Q, I can certainly tell you that there's a lot of truth in it. As much as you are saying guidelines, you're being very humble by saying that. It's certainly a guideline to someone wanting to live a better life and helping them, move forward in terms of whatever they are in, whatever place they are in their journey as well.
Mm-hmm.
I find that Westerners want answers all the time. And like I said at the beginning of this, the channel is about doing, do.
Mm-hmm.
Palm
Mm-hmm.
leaf readings, your pujas, and everything that you have, you still have to do. Like you said, even by writing a book, it's not going to write itself,
It
right?
doesn't. Yeah,
There's a
correct.
lot of doing, and people do not do, and we forget that aspect of it, thinking that everything's just going to be given to us. And for
Mm-hmm.
me, I think a lot of people needs to make that shift this year because if we don't shift and we don't do, we're going to remain where we are. And that
Correct.
for me is the saddest thing ever because there's so much of knowledge, there's so much of wisdom, there is so much of help out there. People just not want to step forward and grab it. So for me, Dr. Q, I would say I am very grateful to
Oh,
have
thank
seen you
you.
on Next Level Soul. Very
Oh,
grateful to have met you as well. And I'm sure we're going to meet, definitely for sure. I know
that
that.
would that would be great.
So
Yes, thank you.
I just want to say thank you for sharing your incredible light with us. And,
Yeah.
and for those who are watching and feel pulled to finding, your own story written on a leaf, we will have all the links in the YouTube channel, on our Facebook
The
and on
links.
Instagram.
But allow me to just tell them where they can find me on the website. It's
Yes, please go.
indianpalmleafreading.com. That's the
Mm-hmm.
website. And
Mm-hmm.
there it says, "I'm ready to start my journey." You click on it, and then you pay $100. We're a US based institute, so I apologize that it's in dollars, but it is what it is. So you pay $100 for to start the journey, to start the search. Once we receive $100 from you, we send you information how to capture your thumbprint, and this is
Mm-hmm.
what we need from you. I brought this with me too.
Yep.
That's a thumbprint impression form. That's all we need. As you can see, we know female, male, your thumbprints, and the country you're born. We do not need to know anything else from you. This is also an ink pad, one that I recommend. I do not know if it's available in South Africa or in Africa per se, but it is available in Europe and North America. It's super cheap. It's like $2, $3. It doesn't cost much. It's an inkless ink pad, so you can wipe it off. And it's important. So the secret in all this is in your thumbprint. You need to put the paper that you print out that we
Mm-hmm.
sent you, the empty form, on a desk or somewhere, and then you go down straight. No rolling. That is Hollywood movies. The reality is you need to go down straight and up. And you
Yeah.
need to do it a few times because you're not used to doing it. So sometimes you don't press enough or you press too much. So just put as many as you possibly can on it, and then submit it to us through a secure platform that we pay money for, to make sure that your thumb impression is secure. We have a look at it, and if it's good enough, we send you a message saying, "Yep, they're good, they're readable." And at the moment, you're being put on a next in line list. Once we have received your thumb impressions and we say they're good enough to start the search, this next in line list is like a holding area, holding space until our capacities free up, which at the moment is still not so bad. It's just a few months, but it will be much worse coming very soon, because I'll be on
Yes.
another big podcast with Joni Patry, and she's a big supporter of our cause too. She had a reading with us also not so long ago. Loved it, and I was on her show, and it's going to be released very soon. So you want to hurry up. I'm sending you to submit your thumbprints. And then after that, when capacities free up, we send you a message that now you've been moved on the active list. Active list means we start the physical search for your bundles, and that's the bundle that hopefully contains your thumbprint, your individual palm leaf. And at the moment, average time is 2 to 5 months, something like that. Just be patient. And when we find it, we will send you a message saying, congratulations, we found a couple bundles for you. And now you can pay $400 to make an appointment. So $100 for the search, $400 for the actual reading. And then we have readings every day, 7 days a week, really. 350, 45 days a year. So most days of the year, we offer readings 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday. We have 2 set times. That's important to know because we have a global audience, global. So it's set at 6 because I'm trying to give it to you in South African time. So it's either at currently speaking in the winter daylight saving time is 12:45 p.m. It starts 12:45 p.m. South African Standard Time because you guys don't change times. And or 6:45 a.m. South Africa Standard Time. So 6:45 a.m., 12:45 p.m. For my New York friends, if you got a global audience, it's 12:45 a.m. So shortly after midnight, New York time, or 6:45 a.m. Early morning New York time. So we have several readings going parallel at the same time on 2 times a day because they cover the world pretty okay. Some of us have to get up a little earlier, some of us have to stay up a little later, but it beats having to fly all the way to India and finding a reader, right? So that's $100, $100. And because I do what I do, as good karma work, I still make no money with it. I have a real day job outside of this. We also have a money back guarantee. If somebody's unhappy, just send us an email. I'm unhappy. I have to accept the fact that we're humans. No matter how much we want to and how hard we work, we cannot satisfy every single one. If you're not happy for whatever reason, we refund you the money. It's easy, not a big deal. And so that you can, rest assured that you're in ethical, loving, caring hands with us. And go on our Facebook page, in Empowerment Reading, like the page, follow us. When I give a talk or so, or this interview will be put on there too, or Instagram. And thank you for allowing me to be here on your show.
Thank you so much, Dr. Q. It's really an honor to have you, and I wish you all the best, and hopefully we see each other soon. So thank you, everyone, for joining us at Gatherings, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and most importantly, just be. We'll see you at the next time at the next show. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Namaste, Dr. Q. Thank you so much.
Dank u wel. Dank je. Baie dankie.